What's up, Buck fans? It is Victory Monday. How you doing out there? You are listening to the Aftermath on 102.9, the Game Broad Street South Radio. It's your boy AJ Turn Up. We got my man Coach Slick coming up, the British guy who's always fly and on standby. I hope y'all doing all right tonight. The Bucs did a hell of a number. We did the damn thing. We defeated the punk ass, slimy, disgusting, cheating, headhunting disgrace of a franchise, the New Orleans Taints or Staints or Stains, the Canes, whatever you want to call it. The Buccaneers took care of business. We made them look pitiful. And we're just making a lot of people out here look stupid. I got to just say that. But here my man Slick right now. How you doing, my man?
I'm feeling good, baby. Victory Monday. We always enjoy this, and it's you know what the best part about this is. Not only is it the Saints, but this the one thing that we've all been. How many years of pain have we had versus this team? How many years of suffering have we had as just not being a very good team? And now we're like on the winning spectrum for the last 3 years, and then it seems to be echoing into the New Year's too. So I'm quite happy just about that. We hit the bye week with a winning record. We're winning the division. God bless to the Jacksonville Jaguars for taking care of business and everyone else who defeated an NFC South team yesterday to the day before. It does not matter. We are right now the kings of the South. That can always change, of course. We've got to keep going. Got a few injuries, but generally, really pleased. Obviously, the video that me and you did, you can see my excitement. Yeah, you always nice to have a bit of bragging rights against friends as well.
Hell yeah, absolutely. No. At the bar at Arlington Rooftop, I was ecstatic. I was just happy because, as you said, it feels like when it comes to the Bucs and Saints, it has shifted back to our side of winning because a lot of people don't remember once the NFC South was formed, the Bucs. The Saints sometimes to have our number, but I would say roughly from like 04 to like 2008,
Mm-hmm.
the Bucs were taking care of the Saints. We were beating the Saints. We were doing what we needed to do, and the ties have shifted. Where they had their years, they never did anything. But now we're back on it, and I warned all you commentators. I warned all the doubters. Like I said, if you think that this is the same Bucs team under the Brady regime, you are terribly wrong. And that is
The only thing that's the same. And
yeah.
there's a couple of people. Obviously there's players from that era still on the team, but it generally is new look. As soon as you change an offensive coordinator, you're changing the recipe of how you're going to do things. As soon as you change that, right? The team's trying to be more balanced rather than just being a passing team, which is what we were under the Brady regime. So we're trying to be able to do a few more things because if you can run the ball, you can burn the clock out, right? And that is a very useful tool to have in you. But for us right now, it's just nice,
Oh yeah, it's very nice, very nice. It's a lovely victory. But
it's not a lovely victory. It's like this was one of the teams that the naysayers, the speakers, they all had us. It was them in Atlanta that was going to be fighting.
Which I never understood. But this is why you can't always Buck fans listen to the media. They're going to say whatever they want to say because it creates narrative. And a lot of times they're fed the bullshit that they've been told from higher ups. So they don't truly watch the Bucs because if they did, Brady leaving actually at this point for this Bucs organization is the best thing because Brady wasn't all in anymore. And no disrespect to him. He had his own issues going on. Byron was in over his head. The team needed this reset. And who else to do it? It was perfect bringing in Baker because Baker needed a reset. Mm-hmm. He knew he wasn't going to do anything in with the Rams, and he knew this. This was fine. So coming to a team like this was a good thing. The Bucs have a knack of doing this. We can't really draft good quarterbacks, but we sure as hell can bring somebody in.
And he's so young that you could have him for 10 years and it's not going to make it. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I would say it's a 3-year rental. If he is that guy, he becomes the franchise quarterback for us. it's all like, yes. Someone said on a previous show, and we do have two guests that want to pop in, so we'll bring them on in a second. But someone did once say, I was like, yeah, but Baker's going to want money. Yeah, he probably is going to want money. But do you want to have your answer at quarterback now, or do you want your answer at quarterback by looking around another door and maybe it doesn't pan out in the draft pick? Because everyone, we always put the pressure on these young quarterbacks that come into the league. Some of them can do it.
Yeah.
See, I'm still baffled as why people seem to think that Justin Fields is just going to miraculously turn into a good player. And they can say, oh, well, he doesn't have this and he doesn't have and he doesn't have. You can say that about any trash team getting a quarterback. You can say it about all of them because nobody inherits a good team very often. Only when a team has usually traded big time. And we saw it with, is it Trey Lance? They traded big time players. He's not even on the team anymore. The amount of first round picks they sunk into thinking he was him, and he wasn't. And he was set up to succeed. Other quarterbacks have succeeded in that system. So I'm going to bring on our gentlemen. We've got two guests. We have got. I'm going to do. I don't know. I think I'll murder David's last name, so I'm just going to call him Dave.
Keep it simple. Well, how about that? Those Bucs yesterday, huh?
Yes,
how
sir.
about that? First time, 3 times in a row, the Saints went down. 3 times in a row in the history of the Saints and the history of the Bucs. One more time. Woo!
Woo! And look, Bowles is 3-0 against the Saints. Damn, can we say he got their number? Wow. We love it.
Well, I mean, you can always pick a number 1 overall quarterback like Bryce Young, and next thing you know, you turned it right around.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I told people I wasn't pressed about that, and now people are owing me an apology. You know, one thing about us Bucs fans right now, guys, we can all agree on. A lot of people owe us an apology. And shout out to my man Rick Hughes right here. We both jumped on that Baker Mayfield train, and now people are saying, "Wow, maybe these guys knew what they were talking about." 2 months ago, they laughed at us. People were laughing. We were talking about Baker's watch, Baker's this. Okay. Yeah. And it all started with Rick asking AJ, do you think that if Baker was on the against the Cowboys last year, would this team have succeeded? I had to think about that, Dave. I said, you know what? A mobile quarterback, we might have destroyed Dallas. They wouldn't have had a chance. Look at how the Saints played us. The Saints tried to play us the exact same way that they played Brady, trying to look like blitz up the middle, trying to rattle him, not realizing he can run. Every time Baker he took the wind out of that defense. You can clearly see the damn. This is not the same Bucs offense. And if anything, but you know what? We're gonna pump our brakes. Let's just get. First of all, how are you guys feeling though? Again, let's get another. How are you feeling again on a Victory Monday?
Yeah. Let me think about it. Woo!
Yes.
Man, oh man, let me tell you something. I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. I love this team. I love this team. This is one of my favorite Bucs teams ever. I can tell you, Dave and I, back in 1976, were like the only 2 kids in school wearing Buccaneers shirts to Shenandoah Elementary School in Orlando.
Shenandoah Elementary School.
And let me tell you something. I can tell you, standing here now, this might be my favorite Buccaneers team ever. Ooh. I love these guys. Baker may be my favorite Buccaneers quarterback ever. Ooh. I mean, the scrappiness. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best. I'm saying he may be my favorite.
Oh, he's no Doug Williams.
You've always got that player that may not be the best player, but there's something about them that you just love about them.
Right. Like I like Steve DeBerg a lot back in the day. You know, there's some guys he's just kind of, all right, I like that guy, and that's how that is. And I got to tell you, man, this is so much fun. This game was so much fun. This was as close to this was not a perfect game. Because the Super Bowl against the Chiefs was a perfect game.
Oh,
but But this is that close, man. This was that close to the perfect game. We kicked their butt up and down, back and forth. They had nothing to say. Their offense sucks. The best tweet I saw anywhere was when Jameis threw that one pass. And some of you will know what I'm talking about when I say this. Some of you are going to understand this. I saw a tweet that simply said, Jameis, 1 of 1.
I understand.
If you know that, dude, you know how beautiful that is.
Oh, I definitely do. The Jameis apologist.
Yeah.
Oh, Twitter had a field day with him after that interception. They said, hey, man, come on now. What
First
can you do?
throw.
He would have been talking about the
At least it
beautiful
was us.
spiral. He would have been talking about how it was a better spiral in the arc and that the receiver was out of position and that he can't both throw and catch it. It would have been, but
Slick, I'm gonna fill you in on that guy, Slick. I'm gonna send you his Twitter. He is such a big Jameis apologist.
He blocked me.
Oh God, yeah, he's like the Johnny Cochran of defending him. And we're like this.
He doesn't have the team. He doesn't have this, and they don't have a defense to help back him up. And if he was in that, look, and I've got. We know that there's layers to quarterbacks, right? It's like almost, right? We know that he's going to be in this league he's going to get a 10-year stint in his career. He might not even be close to the 10 years right now, isn't he?
He's probably done 10.
Yeah, he's close to 10. We drafted him in 2015, right?
Yeah,
so he's got 2 more years, and he'll do 10 years, and he'll be that career backup guy now. I just don't see anything more out that you could get out of him because he's known. When you've got a known for going into the game and throwing a pick really quickly, you're going to get forgotten about. But because you know schemes, because you understand, you'll probably be invited to training camps. You'll probably be invited to be on team.
He could start in Denver.
When your quarterback, okay, how does Jameis feel about this? Because he took a pay cut to stay in New Orleans, right?
Right.
So here's New Orleans with a quarterback who's got an injured shoulder and he can't really do much. And they're like, no, we're going to start the game with him anyway and Taysom. I mean, dude,
that's my least favorite Saints. One of my least favorite Saints players on offense is Taysom Hill. I
hate that guy.
Fucking hate that guy. It just looks like I want to punch him.
Well, it's not just that; it's that you know what he's gonna do.
And
this is the first game I've seen anybody stop him.
I think we have.
Oh my God, I hate that guy.
You have to.
I do. That guy. You can know what he's gonna do, and he does it anyway.
Yes. No. I can't stand him either. And the thing is, he's that guy. He's the one of the coach's sons on the team that you just know he's there just because. And they paid for his spot, and you're like, "But coach,
no, but they're not. You can't stop him.
You can stop him. We're
the first team I have ever seen stop him.
That's
this game.
Yeah, this game, and they were putting him on his ass because they realized we
played against him too many. I think the numbers are up on him because this is. We remember from a core defense. This defense has played Taysom Hill a lot. They know. We can make game plan for him.
Todd Bowles has their number. Listen, for years they had our number. Okay, just whatever it was, they had our number. Right now, we've got theirs.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Luke Gedeke.
Yes.
All the crap that guy's taken, and Cam Hill up yours. There you go. I mean, he shut down Cam Hill.
Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan. Shut down Cam Jordan.
The biggest
idiot. Luke Gedeke, you're the man. You are the man. If I could give you a game ball, I would. Just as long as you'd shove it in his mouth.
He did. Oh yeah, no, he embarrassed Cam. Cam really did not have a good game. It's like
beautiful.
He was abusing him, especially on that touchdown to Tom.
That's a rookie left tackle, technically.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
But
Right.
yeah,
just throwing them around, just had his way. But guys, let's
Yeah.
let's break down the game. Let's just go start off by the first quarter and the first play. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little frustrated with the refs. They have got to do better in their calls. With that, the first off, that Godwin, the first time he got the first down, the spotting was awful. And then they called intentional grounding when Rashad White was right in the vicinity. That's when I said, okay, this Bucs team has
Sort
got,
of in the vicinity.
yeah, he was in the
Sort of.
vicinity. He was right there, and they call it. But this
Yeah.
is when I knew, okay, Bucs, they're gonna have to like thoroughly beat this team. They cannot rely on a close game.
yeah, they don't want to be too ticky tacky.
Exactly. Let's and I'm gonna say this. Mike Evans won that fight. This because he was on him, and I do love.
He beat of the 4 times I saw them go up against it. He
was
beat
winning.
4 times.
He was beating him, and you're right. I feel like that Baker knew that shit, and he said, "You know what? See, Brady."
Yeah, but
really
like I said,
Yes.
back to Mike Evans having my grandma's hamstrings. I mean, it's just. I mean, it.
How has he done every year though 1,000 or more yards with those hamstrings?
Well,
Because
it gets
the
easier
Trainers
when
have
you
got
hamstrings.
trainers deserve a bonus, a big
Yes.
one.
I think they took. I think they took precautions, but this is how you know that this is a different team. They were so confident that they did not need Evans the second half. They said,
Evans wanted to play.
Ooh, you are speaking heresy, brother. You are speaking heresy. The fans are going to come and get you.
This is how good and confident this Bucs team was. They said, because you're right, Slick. Evans wanted to come back in. He was riding on the bike, and they probably said, we got this game.
Because we were we were up 14-3 at that point in time, and we were still becoming dominant. So they probably thought, you know what? Let's not overdo it. Let's look at the future. We've got a run game that's working right now.
Oh, you just said the truth right there, Slick.
Yeah, we got Devin Tompkins. We got Devin Tompkins now. Just sit down, big guy.
Yeah, Slick, you just said the truth there, brother.
It doesn't need to be special. It just needs to do its job. It doesn't need to wow you. It just needs to convert when it needs to convert. It needs to set up starting drives. It just can't get buried all the time. And I think that was a good fire that was lit under his ass. Now, his stats do not bounce off, but it was smart running. A smart running game.
Smart, yeah, very smart. And he utilized what he does best, especially when he made those jukes. I was like, okay, this is when Rashad White is using the passing game that they did, I think what happened was, one, like you said, they lit a fire under his ass. And second, they started utilizing him a lot better. They're not trying to make him a battering ram, but they said, we're going to use you in the passing, because when he did that juke, that was excellent. I said, wow, okay, Rashad, he must have heard what we said. Somebody out there is listening to the aftermath on 102.9, the Game Bar Street Radio South, because we were talking about, hey, I don't know if Rashad's that guy. Now, he still has to learn, because there was a play where the hole was open. If he just hits it instead of trying to maneuver, that's a touchdown. But yes, Rashad improved dramatically, and that changed the outcome for the Saints. The Saints, and again, Rick and I, we can attest to this. First of all, we love Brady. Thank you for all you've done. But if you see under the regime, Brady would not take those risks of throwing to Evans. He was more of, I just need to get whoever's open, or if I don't see it, the no risk it, no biscuit went out of the window when Brady played the Saints, because in retrospect, and honestly, I think they had a fear against their defense. I think they were scared to make mistakes. Well, this team said, fuck it, we're going to go out here and make you outplay us. They had to call a timeout in the first quarter just because they were scared. They didn't see that when the Bucs motioned into that formation, they was like, hold on, we ain't never seen this before. Who is this team? Who is this guy? This guy's running on us. They were not ready. Marshawn Lattimore was so frustrated he had to pull Mike Evans because he was going to get beat.
That was
Let
hilarious.
me tell y'all.
That was hilarious.
Yes, he was about to get
tackled
beat.
him.
And then had the nerve to put his arms up. This is why nobody likes Marshawn Lattimore. This is why we cannot stand him. Like, guys, I know people hate Cam Jordan, but I cannot stand Lattimore with the passion just because, one, you could say at least Cam has the resume to where he'll be a Hall of Famer. Marshawn does not. He's just a silly-ass crybaby. Now, I want to ask you guys at the bottom, who can you not stand more? David, I'm going to go with you first. Is it
Lattimore? Next.
Or asshole Jordan? Lattimore?
No question.
Lattimore?
I'll go with Lattimore because there's something about Cam Jordan I actually quite like. I like that he's cocky. I like the fact that it's not just it plays into it. You've got to have that thing about you that sets you apart. And I do think he's a prick. I really do. But he also sings the praises for some Buccaneers. He was singing Mike Evans' praises, saying, I don't know how you could not say that Mike Evans is not one of the best wide receivers in football. So I think private, like, I know what he's doing. Like, he's playing that, the shit that he says. It's not a rivalry and all this crap. It's absolute, well, it's free games, boy. Free games in a playoff game. Again, shut down the Saints. They had that little bit of a spark in them. They had those 3 years. We remember those 3 years? And God bless the Minnesota Vikings. God bless those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And God bless the Rams. Because now we don't have to remember when they were doing the stupid, like they say it's not a rivalry. We're not the ones doing fucking discos.
Oh no, I agree. It's not a rivalry.
Not anymore.
I mean, rivalry is a tough game. I mean, this wasn't a rivalry. You know, this was a whatever. Listen, I can't stand Cam Jordan or Marshawn Lattimore. I can't stand either one. I hate them both. Okay, but if I have to choose, fine. I hate Lattimore. But I really hate Cam Jordan too. And I mean, it's the one thing I will say though is you said, "Wow, look at how much better that Rachaad White learned," and it's amazing how much you can learn when you're not playing the Eagles. I mean, they make you look like you don't know a lot. So, I mean, let's give I give credit where it's due. Look, the Eagles are elite. The 49ers are elite. Maybe the Cowboys are, at least right now. They tend to be early. Maybe they're elite. I don't know.
They're just a good.
I agree, Slick. They're just good. They're just good, not elite. There's only two elites.
I think they could beat the Niners. I think they could beat Philadelphia and probably will beat Philly one game. I don't think they're elite yet. The thing is, guys, let this sink in. This is Dave Canales' 4th game calling plays ever. Not just this year, not just with this team, ever. He's never called the plays. He's been the quarterback's coach, not the offensive coordinator. Think of how much better we're going to get as the year goes on. I mean, we're seeing the start of something here. And if I see one more, keep it clean, Rick. Keep it clean, Rick. If I see one more Bucs fan that says, "Oh, Todd Bowles is just not fiery enough." God, the idiots. It's amazing to me.
I say to those people, go watch football and watch every coach in the NFL. Bill Belichick is not an emotional guy. He just isn't. He's grumpy. Yeah. He's moody looking. And you look at the other head coaches, not all of them are fiery. Fiery just means you're a fiery personality. It does not mean a fucking damn in the game. It just means you feel good because you see a coach kind of getting on people's ass. That's the only thing. That's the only thing it does. But there's
Rex Ryan was entertaining.
Everyone has different levels of leadership. And here's this. You can see it. You can see the plays piss him off because you can see it on his face.
Tony Dungy.
Exactly.
Look, he was a fireball. He was
coaches, just because you get, we all can go to the sideline. Every single one of us can go to the sideline and be a fucking football coach right tomorrow. We'll go and find some Pee-wee football team who doesn't have a head coach. You can sit on that line and you can curse, you can scream, you can shout. Will your team win because of it? Probably not.
Let me throw in a weird story here about this. I will tell you, he is oddly, Todd Bowles is oddly, if you run into him every day or meet him in everyday life, he doesn't have a lot of personality. Okay, he's very, I mean, I had a chance to spend about 30, 45 minutes with him one day. It was with him and his family. They actually came into the store where I work, and his wife, wonderful woman, family, wonderful family. The way that it worked, and this to me says a lot, is the kids were picking out like what furniture they were gonna have for their bedroom, and they'd pick out the one they'd want, and they'd look at the mom, and they'd say to mom, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. And the mom would say, "Are you sure?" And the kids would say, yeah, I'm sure this is the one I want. Everybody would look at Todd Bowles, and he would literally just nod. And it was, everybody listened. It was, he had
The
final
judge
say,
has
he had
spoken.
authority. He didn't have to talk about it. Nobody was going to debate him.
He's
I can
very
tell
stoic.
you.
He's very stoic. And in press conference, he's not I want to say, because people mistake the fact that if you aren't fiery, you're not passionate. But you don't have to be like red-blooded, screaming at the thing to be passionate. You're passionate. Like a lot of people have said, other Buccaneer players have said that behind closed doors at practice, he's way worse.
Right.
He's fiery at practice. He's just not fiery on game day.
And let me say, in press conferences, he's not fun, okay? His press conferences are not fun. Bruce Arians, think of the difference. You've almost got whiplash. I mean, because you're going from one extreme where, Bruce Arians practically showing up with a whiskey in his hand. Hey, how's it going? Win or lose, we lose. Yeah, I mean that was Bruce Arians, right? But I mean Todd Bowles, it's like you ask him on Sunday after the game, was this player, how bad was the injury? We won't know until tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So then at the Monday press conference, was he injured badly? I don't know yet. Well, I'll get back to you. He doesn't say anything. And I'm sure he would rather not do those press conferences. But I will tell you this, I'll bet you just like his kids, because of the presence that he has, just by his nature, if that guy says, run through that wall, yes, sir, how fast? I mean, that's the impression that I get from him.
I think I see that, and I've seen this with coaches before, like being around. Like now that I've moved on to different teams and stuff, we have an offensive coordinator in practice. The word retard gets used so much, it is scary. He won our PG-13 award for the colourful language that this guy can read off. Game day, not a peep, not a freaking peep. At practice, he is cussing everyone out.
Right.
Retarded play. How the fuck you be that fucking retarded? Get the fuck off my field. All that kind of stuff. As soon as it's game day, it's like, we got to do better, guys. Guys, we got to work on this. We got to work on this. Bring it in. It is like, what? Honestly, we would challenge the defense to turn around and go, come on. We want him to call the wide receiver a fucking dickhead. So can we just fuck him up a little bit just so we can cuss out the team? So we'd kick their ass on purpose, and the players bought into it just so we could hear him lose his shit. Because it was funny.
Right. And think about it. I mean, you have such different personalities. Dungy used to do this. Dungy, who wouldn't curse, who wouldn't do any of that stuff, but he had other coaches that would get all that done for him. And Todd Bowles, very, he's kind of keeps his stuff together. But he's got Dave Canales, and if you've ever talked to that guy or listened to that guy interview, I mean, that guy's exciting and fun. My biggest concern is if we do too good on offense, we're going to lose him. So, and by the way, wasn't too long ago I kept hearing, oh, Bucks, or Todd Bowles is on the hot seat this year. I haven't heard any of that. And Dave, I know, has something here. I know Dave saved something. And Dave, you got to tell them about this.
Go on, Dave.
This goes back. I will give credit where credit is due. From Fansided, March 12th, 2023. I saved it because it irked me so bad. Gentleman that wrote it is John Bueller. The headline is Post Tom Brady Buccaneers World is Pure Sadness. It also has the headline Buccaneers post-time Brady life just got even sadder. And it goes down and says it's a lot of Kyle Trask in Tampa Bay. Trask had one great year in Florida, but is unproven. As for who could compete with him, how about Baker Mayfield? Yeah, how about Mr. Bueller? How about Baker Mayfield?
Hey,
Let's
Dave.
talk about Baker Mayfield. 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, only 1 sack, 116.9 quarterback rating against the mighty Saints defense.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how sad we are.
Let me hear your sadness, Dave.
Woo!
Yes.
Go Bucks. Woo!
You are all making solid points. Like you said, you don't always need a fiery coach. Sometimes the type of guy Todd Bowles is, like you said, it's kind of scary if you mess up, because now the team knows, oh, you're going to get chewed out when the cameras are off. Oh, he's going to get on your ass. I don't mind that as long as you are winning and doing your job. And right at this point, Bowles is keeping his end of the bargain. Slick and I had already said this before, Rick. We said as long as the defense is dominant and doing their job, he's fine. There is no hot seat. And the defense is doing good despite the injuries. Despite certain, and do I always agree with Cushion's but he's
guys,
they should have dominated us in the past because of the amount of injuries to the secondary. They should have been able to do something. They did nothing. A lot of it. That lazy running across the field, they highlighted on the screen. I was like, oh my good Lord, this is a guy that everyone's touting to be like the next thing, right? Like, I'm not saying they're saying he's going to be a top one receiver, but he's like, right now, I suppose you could say he's the face of the franchise offensively for the Saints. And he did not want to be there. He didn't want to be there. He wasn't getting the ball as much as he wanted. And when he did get the ball, it was bouncing around everywhere. And he had no opportunity because the Buccaneers defense did not let him.
We turned Olave into olive oil. I love it. When he thought he was going to get that deep pass touchdown, and Winfield, who was the MVP of the game.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
MVP of the game. He shut that shit down.
No doubt.
Winfield is I've officially deemed him an elite safety. You cannot tell me any safety right now in the first quarter of this game of the NFL that had a better quarter than Antoine Winfield. Absolutely
not. And let me say something. When you guys flash back to days gone by, when you flash back to the great defense, the great Bucs defense, when you think of Brooks, Lynch, Sapp, Barber, guys, we've got a group of guys now with David, White, Winfield, Vea. Kalijah Kancey's probably coming back next game.
Yes.
We're going to David. It's a good mix of veterans to go along with it.
And he's a wrecking machine, as they say. It is Mickey from Rocky. He's a wrecking machine. He's, that's going to make our defense that much better. And then also add into that Servastier Dennis coming back. Yep. There's all of a sudden, holy cow, man. For us griping about when the bye week came, it sure came at the perfect time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. That was a blessing in disguise, because now everybody who needs to have some R&R will be coming back. Mike Evans, 2 weeks. He could have come back, but that's what's beautiful. Under the Brady era, they would have said, Evans, we need you. They would have had to bring him back. Didn't need that. Cansey, as you said, I think Cansey, when he comes back, this defense is going to be automatically top 3, not top 5, top 3. He is a wrecking ball. And guys, believe it or not, Vita Vea is halfway at his sack stat already. He had 6.5 last year.
He's done that quietly. He's done that really quietly.
And look, mind you, he has a pectoral issue right now. When Cansey gets back in there, oh God.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Woo.
Logan Hall making the stop as well and picking the ball off the deck. I tell you what, this Buccaneers defense is just doing what they need to do to keep us in games, and it's a great thing to have right now because we have an offensive coordinator still figuring out how he wants to call plays, how he wants the blueprint to look, and so it gives him a bit of imagine doing this with a bad defense. He could be in and out the league and back as a quarterback's coach next year if he was with a bad defense. He gets the opportunity to just enjoy, try a few different things, and not worry too much because he knows he's got that Buccaneer defense on his side, ready to go whenever he needs it. And he's not going to take risks, but he's going to try different things to see what different things look like. And I like that.
Yeah, and the line is gelling.
Because we're not. Imagine this. Imagine if we had Jameis. I mean, think about it. People do not realize how much of an impact on your defense your quarterback has. And I mean, your quarterback makes a huge difference to your defense.
Yep.
And
well, I mean, it's not just Jameis, but think about, say, a Jimmy Garoppolo. People were wanting him to come to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Baker was at the bottom of the list. So there was a lot of other quarterbacks.
Not for me and this guy up here.
I understand that. Hey, I've been crying offensive player of the comeback player of the year.
Was my second Baker was my second choice.
Said that. They called. He's going to be the Geno Smith of this year, the comeback player of the year.
He will. And Dave, I think the reason why, again, narrative is very important. Narrative can make or break people in the league. And a lot of people thought when he went to Carolina and it did not look good, they forgot it's the Carolina's nasty ass Panthers who didn't have a direction. They fired the coach that was actually doing good. Well, they didn't even keep him. So then he goes to LA and makes something of himself, and then he comes to a team like you said, and Canales is having fun. You mean to tell me I get an All-Pro in Evans and Godwin? Oh, wait a minute, I got an up-and-coming Otten. Wait, wow, okay. And as you said before, Rick, it's going to get to a point where they're going to be able to get their offense to consistently gel. I've said this already. When this offense can be consistently average, watch out, because this defense is here to play. Just look at what we did to them. First of all, Carr, he had no business playing. He played scared, and you can tell he was cautious. Carr was literally the reincarnation of Drew Brees in 2020. Short dink and dunks. When he did throw deep, it was awful. The way that they played us was the way we played them in the playoffs in 2021. They were short dink and dunks, and then the defense came alive, and we just destroyed them, and then the offense. And shout out to my man Palmer. That catch was a beautiful catch. My man just put that down and just went. And I love his little moves. I love his little dance move. He's going to be something special. I think he could possibly be the steal of the draft on offense. That guy can do it. I thought he was just going to be a one-trick pony. He is a well-rounded receiver.
Well, make no doubt, we know who the steal of this year is on defense. Christian Isian.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no doubt that guy. Holy cow. Undrafted out of Rutgers. Undrafted.
From Rutgers. I don't know which is more impressive, to be undrafted or to be from Rutgers, or I guess both.
I think it's a combination, but this gentleman, he has 1 tackle for a loss. He has himself 21 combined tackles so he's averaging more than 5 tackles a game at the nickel position. And obviously he has the 2 picks, and he just seems to be swarming around the football. He reminds me of like a a young, probably a little bit a step behind, but a safety that we've already got on the team.
Winfield
gives me Winfield vibes.
Yeah.
He's always around the.
Yeah.
Hunger. They have the same hunger too.
Yeah.
I do like that. They both
What
have
it makes
the same
me
hunger.
think of is oh my God, we had him. We had to let him go. Had like 4 picks in a game earlier this year.
Are you talking about Whitehead?
Yes, Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah, I can see that. One thing that and I think that in Bowles love the draft. They love to draft players with intensity and that has the heart and want to play, and not for selfish reasons. They play for each other. You can clearly see Izzy and these guys play for each other, and that's what I do love about this.
By the way, who's Izzy's college coach?
Oh God, I can't say his name. Baltimore.
It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts to say his name.
Baltimore. That's his name. Baltimore. I do
Greg
not.
Schiano.
Greg
Yeah.
Sounds like piano.
The 10 toes on the line bullshit.
Yeah,
guy.
toes on the line. It
Oh,
hurts
my
to say
God.
his name.
That's when I knew the Bucs were really in the dark years. It was like that. The Bucs were literally that guy who was just staying with the chick because he needs a place to stay. That was the kind of era that we were in. I said, Lord have mercy. We went from.
You guys weren't around for 12 years of 10 or more losses.
Right.
That was before your time. You don't know. You think you know, but you don't know. Before week 1, I remember our infamous conversation I had with Rick before week 1. We were already talking about wait till next year, and the first game hadn't even started yet. That's how bad it was. You were going to lose 10 or more games, and you knew it.
Yay, go Bucs. Do you see all this gray? You see all this? I'm 40, but I'm a Bucs fan. No, I'm kidding. I'm not.
Now, talking about one thing that me and AJ did speak about, building into this game, we said it was going to be the unsung names that were going to make names on this team. And Devin Tompkins gets that touchdown, that dive into touchdown, which was beautiful. I'd love if Chris Godwin had capped it off because I thought he deserved one. However, sometimes
he's on my fantasy team. I would have loved that too.
I bet you would. And of course, Trey Palmer as well. So it just goes to show that the talent's there. And how small that guy is. It's 70 kg? I mean, I don't know the pounds. And he's 5'7". Jesus Christ! He's still making plays, running around that field with Devin Tompkins. What a dude!
What about Keyshawn Vaughn showing up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't start this again.
What you mean?
No.
He ran with the force.
This is what I found out. This is what Todd Bowles said. The reason they played him instead of
Tucker.
Yeah. Instead of Sean Tucker is because he's played so much against the Saints, and they have a lot of exotic blitzes, and they do some very strange things. And that he knows how to recognize it, and he's very good at blocking back there. And he's
I can't stand. He had less than 2 yards per carry. Okay. Oh,
that's not.
I'm sorry. He had less than 2 yards per carry. Okay, you blocked well. Well, we'll find somebody who can block well and get more than 2 yards per carry.
Well, I hope we will. Let me know when we do.
Yeah, and can we afford that? That's the thing. The Bucs right now just need to work with what they have because the formula is there. I do think that is going to make this offense again, guys. They're slowly getting there because when Canales gets there, the line will get there. The line is already ahead of schedule, in my opinion, when it comes to pass blocking. When Baker got that touchdown, look at how much time he had to Tompkins. He was literally sitting there. I counted. I said 1, 2, 3.
I'm like, just throw the damn ball.
But now one thing on that play that Baker is gonna have to do and this will come in time. He does need to get that vision and awareness a lot more accurate, because especially on that play. If you guys go back and look, Rachaad White was wide open. Now he had a guy behind him, but all Baker has to do is zip that shit and Rashaad's catching it. He's going to have to learn that because he was super wide open.
Well,
and there was a play on a rollout where if he pays attention, I think it was either Evans or Godwin was down the field, and they had complete separation. He throws a bomb, it's a touchdown, but he's gonna get there.
But guys, I got to say something for all the ripping on the Bucs running game.
yes.
I want to point something out, and I don't think people think about this enough. The way that the Buccaneers offense runs, they're not going to be a big run team. You're not going to be getting big chunk yardage. That's not what it's about. It's like a jab from a boxer. It's a punch, 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 punch. In the fourth quarter is when it pays off. That's when you start with the play action. When you start doing different things, you saw how long Baker Mayfield stood in that backfield before he threw that pass that you're talking about. He camped out back there.
Yeah.
Tom Brady never had that much time. Why? Because we didn't continue to run the ball, and the defense had to play differently. They could just tee off. The fact that their defense could not just tee off, knowing exactly where the quarterback was going to be, and the fact knowing we were going to pass, the fact that they could not do that is why Baker Mayfield had all that time. And let me tell you, Slick, you're better than any of the rest of us here to explain this and talk about this. But this is why it's not always about number of yards. Sometimes it's about the number of attempts.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, the one thing about the run game is if you have, and the one thing I didn't like last year was there was obvious run play, there was obvious run formations and obvious pass formations. And once you know that, I've said this multiple times last year, and I've said it, and I'll continue to say it. When your linebackers who are part of the front, so your Devin White, your Devontae Davids, they don't need to read; they just see the formation. It's a run. It's obvious. I can, like you said, you can tee off on the pass. When you see a run formation, now you can tee off on the run. All you're doing is fitting your gap, splitting, and going where you need to go. When you have to read, you truly have to get that read.
Right.
There's seconds of diagnosis of,
Right.
and that's why the ball pull on the misdirection pass game, which is pretty much you play action, is you see the ball there, and then they pull it away, and they put their body in front of it. So you're not sure, and you're like, fuck, is this guy got the ball, or is this guy not got the ball? The moment you see it, that's when he's turned around and you go,
Yep.
fuck, I didn't know what the fucking call was, because it's all about analyzing the game.
That's why I think these rush attempts, when everybody's like, oh no, we're not getting enough yardage, we're doing damage. And then if you look at every fourth quarter that we have been in, we've looked much better in the fourth. And it's strictly because of that.
I agree.
I'm all about keep it going. I don't care if, 3 yards a carry, 3.7 yards a carry. I get it. It's not ideal. But we're not the kind of offense with a DeAndre Swift. We don't have a line like San Francisco to make Christian McCaffrey look freaking amazing.
Exactly.
We don't have that kind of team. We don't need to play that way. We don't have to try to pretend we're that. But by the end of the game, what's happening is because we're using the field horizontally, sideline to sideline, the defenses have to cover a hell of a lot more space than they did last year. Last year, they didn't have to cover sideline, right? And that makes all the difference in the world, especially in the fourth quarter.
You are absolutely right. And another reason behind that, you have a quarterback that's willing to run horizontal or all over the place. I want to go back to that because we all were talking about this. When Brady gets hit, he gets irritated. And that's not always a good thing. When Baker got hit, he got fired up. Yeah. Let's go back to the first touchdown he threw to Otten. That was a very dirty ass hit. And this is why nobody cares about the punk ass Tank, because that was a dirty hit They tried to, and Cam's punk ass held him up basically so he could get hit like that and bend his body. Now, I guarantee you this: if the line would have realized what was happening, they didn't see it because they were too busy celebrating a touchdown. It would have gotten a fist fight would have happened, because I know me, if I'd have been someone as Gedeke's size, oh no, I'm kicking Cam in his damn face on the ground, because that was unacceptable. They could have bent his back, and if he hit him harder.
I was around the guy's ankles. I saw the way his ankle kind of slid underneath.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh no, yeah.
When I saw him walking up and down, I was like, is he limping? Is he limping?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, he's all right. I'm like, fuck me. That guy's got some good tendons.
And that personal foul should have been an ejection. That's one of those things where they need to start doing that when guys.
On paper, like if you were to look at the replay, it looks incidental. You can't prove that it was like we know, because we know there's that rivalry. There's that. We've seen it before. We've seen it with Chris Godwin, but on black and white film, you're gonna just see it as it is. You got one guy coming in, you got one guy going in. That's just a high-low hit. It is what it is. You can't turn around and say there was ill intent. You can't prove it.
I agree.
All right, but I like that y'all say that. But it's so funny though. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think it's dirty. 100% dirty.
Yeah,
you knew exactly what they were doing, but you can't, as a referee and team, you can't prove it.
I agree.
True. That's true, but I do like that Baker. You see, when he got to the sidelines, I saw his face. I didn't see a guy rattled. I seen the guy like, oh, is this the type of game we're gonna play? Okay, I'm gonna really whoop your asses now. That fired him up, and he still ran. He still took shots. That is the kind of energy, like you said, Rick. I'm very excited about this team.
I love this team.
It's more of a kiss my ass. I don't care who you think you are. We're going to go out there and play you. And the Saints, you can see in their body language, it was not it. The only person who really on the Saints defense was trying to do something was Demario Davis, because that's who he is. But even he couldn't handle it. It was like, this team is different. And Rick, you said it again. The run attempt is creating an illusion. That is one thing that this Bucs team last year did not have, an illusion. Slick just said it. We knew what the hell. They knew what the hell we were going to do. And they knew where the hell our quarterback was going to be. We were literally limited to what threat we can be. If it wasn't perfect, we were through. On this team, not being perfect is helping us. I don't give a damn when nobody say that. Otten touchdown, that shit wasn't in the script. It looked like that was he's
Dave,
right here. Whoop.
Dave, look up how many pass attempts and rush attempts were there.
There was 33 passes and 33 runs.
Correct.
Shout out to Christopher Cole on that one. Thank you, Chris.
But within the run
Thank you,
attempts,
Christopher Cole.
Baker.
Yeah.
What's that?
8 rush attempts were by Baker, which to me are
That's
not
fine.
rush attempts.
That's fine. To the defense, it's still a rush.
Exactly. And it's still a threat. Now you have to watch your quarterback. You have to go, damn it. I'm telling you.
Keyshawn Vaughn averaged 1.8 yards per carry and was the only running back that didn't have a double-digit run.
Man, I'm going to ask you and Bowles, what y'all got against Vaughn? That man, hey, he's a hard runner. He does what he has to do. I think
there's a spot in the XFL, USFXL, or whatever they're going to call it now. There's a spot right there for him, and I'll watch him and I'll cheer him on. How about that?
I got you. Well, okay, since we're and I do want to bring this up as well. What was when it came to the touchdown to Palmer? I mean, when it comes to this game, I do want Palmer to be more utilized. If you go back to this game and watch it, guys.
That's your guy. I know that, AJ. That's your guy.
That's my guy, because I see that he's not just. I thought when he first came in, he would just be Scotty Miller 2.0, but now that I see he's well-rounded, he's basically a much faster Chris Godwin. He can do anything that you ask.
Oh, simmer down there, Spark.
No, hear me out. He can catch contested catches. He could be a good yak guy.
I don't think he's got the hands of Chris Godwin yet.
And exactly. Now, if the Bucs ran more crossing routes this game, it would have got out of hand against the Saints super early.
Oh, here he goes again, Slick.
Crossing routes were going to kill them.
I swear to God, you and your wife are going to have your partner going to have an argument, and she'll be like, "Babe, you've been spending so much money on Bucs merchandise. What are we going to do?" And you went, "Crossing routes."
Damn right. Crossing routes. I might make a shirt.
What does Todd Bowles defense do to be a bit better? Crossing routes.
Yeah.
Look, people don't.
Here's your answer for everything.
A crossing route can.
What do you want for dinner?
Crossing route. Crossing route. A crossing route. If
you use a t-shirt with the crossing routes on.
Yep.
Just like, keep crossing, baby.
Do not cross me.
Don't cross me. That's it. That's the next thing.
I'm telling you guys, hear me out. And because as someone who does calls on offense, if you do it the right way with the right personnel, you will totally decimate and humiliate and frustrate the hell out of a defense. Because now, as we said, the Bucs are killing people horizontally. I'm going to set up the horizontal.
Now
game.
look who's going, Johnny Cochran. You will decimate. You will humiliate. You will
agitate. Right.
You will.
I'm telling you, I've seen it before. You want to, and the funny thing is, I know this is college, but you want to know who did the perfect example of that? Colorado State against Colorado a few weeks ago. The crossing route was decimating them so bad they didn't even have an answer for it because they didn't have the personnel. Can you imagine Palmer a fourth?
It is a difficult route to defend. You just can't live off it.
No, not live off it.
It's a sprinkle in there.
Yeah, you know and you set it up for the long game. My thing is because now they're gonna try to stop the bleeding there. Now that's when you go, okay, Palmer, Evans, or Godwin, run a straight route now because they're gonna cover the middle. I'm gonna get past your guy. Now I can launch the shit and it's over. Crossing routes to me are slow deaths because it's the perfect dink and dunk. And that one of the Bucs' greatest plays to help us beat the punk ass Eagles back in the day was the crossing route to Joe Jaravicius. And he turned that thing from a simple 10-yard pass to 50 yards. So
it's gritty, gutty Joe Jaravicius. I think his name's legally changed to that.
But AJ, I got a question for you.
What's up?
You see enough cushion? Because there's two things I know about AJ. Loves in the crossing route. Fucking hates a cushion.
I hate
I would tell you, if you go into AJ's house, there are no cushions. Except the dirt cushions. It just doesn't. You are going to be so uncomfortable in his house because there are no cushions.
That's right.
Every time, we know the ladies, they like a cushion, right? They like the nice whimsical ones and the designs and stuff like that. My wife has multiple cushion covers for different seasons because that's what she's about. Bless her. Love you, baby. I would feel sorry for her if AJ was her husband because she would have no joy in life because there'd be no cushions in the house, no cushion covers. So she will go, baby, get that shit out of my house.
Hey, you know why? You know why, guys? Because the ladies love the man press. Yeah, let that sink in. That man press is there when you're up on them. I like a defense that causes chaos on the line. I'll tell you this, look, we're so grateful now. We're so busy talking about the win. We're saying, damn, they could have done more if they did this.
If Mike Evans stays in, I think the team pops up even further because I think
Mike Evans
get going.
If Mike Evans stayed in, first of all, he'd have got a touchdown on Marshawn's punk ass, and then it would have been.
That'd been nice.
Yeah.
One where he appears just above them and just plucks it out of the air. And they're like, oh shit.
Yes. Look, if I'm the Bucs, the next time that they play them, because let's be real, guys, if this team continues to go the way that they go and they stay healthy, as a barber,
I love that comment. Thank you. There is beard action all the way through. I mean, I'm growing mine out a little bit more, and I can see Rick's he's got that shredded wheat going on.
Dave's beard is I like yours, man. You got that.
Dave's got the goatee.
Dave's got that.
You got that Western, that tombstone. Say when, Dave. You got to walk up to people and say, "I'm your huckleberry." and see what they feel. That's all you gotta do. Just walk up to somebody and say, "I'm your Huckleberry." Look, that's what the Bucs need to start doing. Look, we got to get nasty with people. Like when we go to Detroit, when we play Detroit at our house, we just got to say, "I'm your Huckleberry." I'm ready to skin some lions. Look, we're about to take the courage out of them. Guys, this, I know a lot. Slick has already said that's going to be a 50-50 game. I tell you what, and Rick, you'll like this. If Canty plays, it's going to get ugly.
I think it's going to be a battle. I think it is going to be a low-scoring battle. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me say this. And guys, I actually have to run. I want to do two things. I want to find out, number one, is there going to be a show next week, even though there's no game?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. I'll begin. I will have to be in some form of creamsicle. But I want to say this before I go. Did you guys hear the speech at the end with by Bowles after the game?
Yes.
Not just the when he's got everybody screaming, yeah. Not just that. But I want to point out one other thing, because to me this was a shock and a learning thing and a really good sign. Did you hear Devin White say to everybody? Devin White, who is not always presenting himself as the most mature, telling everybody, hey, wait, stop cheering, hold on, wait. Everybody be smart while we're off on this week. Be smart. We've got more to do than just today's game.
Yes, I remember that.
And that came out of Devin White. I was shocked.
Yes.
I think Rondé Barber going into the Hall of Fame as a lifer, and with the whole thing with the gentleman that plays next to him in Levante David.
Yes.
I think he's seeing that what can pay off if you are the Bucs man.
It took till now though, because all offseason he was yelling.
He's always been that razzle dazzle. I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. I'm cool. I'm the dude. I'm the man. That's part of his shtick, and humble's never been there. And I think he got humbled and went, actually, you know what? Being a lifer in one place, this team's not going anywhere. Right now, This team's playing well. We've got ourselves a quarterback that we think can do the job. We don't know yet because we still got to see what the end of the season looks like.
Right.
If everyone aligns correctly in the Buccaneers, I want to say this finally. A lot of people said to me, "Oh, the Buccaneers did nothing in free agency." No, they did something different. They went and did what they had to do with the free agent signings, and they did what they had to do in the draft. That means your team just got younger very quick.
Yeah.
It means you got more development with these guys rather than a rental or what have you.
And did nothing in free agency. Baker?
It's just going to be pure sadness in Tampa with Baker.
Right. They literally improved the team. They had Brady. Everybody follow along. They had Brady. They improved the team by going to Baker Mayfield. Let that wash over you. Think about that. Listen, I am thrilled with Tom Brady. Thrilled that he came here. Those were three
magical,
wild, exciting, fun years that I believe had a lot to do with changing the culture. Remember the culture with Winston. The whole thing changed because of Brady. This year, part of the culture is still Brady, and don't think otherwise.
Right.
Yep, I agree.
But having said that, I mean, he taught all the other players on the team how to think and how to that desire to win. So having said that, man, am I glad we've got Baker Mayfield. Woo! Am I glad. I am so excited. Guys, I got to run, but I can tell you excitedly I got three things to say. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Go ahead, my man. Thank you. Take it easy. Take it easy, fellas. Take it easy. But yes, I want to go back to what y'all was saying. You out too, David?
Yeah.
Take it easy, my brother.
We're fun. What have you been doing? What you got going on?
You can see on Bucs Live on X, formerly known as Twitter.
or just X Twitter. It's easier.
Something like that.
You
However you want to slice it.
All right, brother. Well, anytime you guys, yourself, just want to come in, we always enjoy having you. So please, the invitation's always extended. So take advantage when you want to come on. Let us know. We'll get you in, and we'll have a good chin wag, and we'll get that going.
I appreciate it. I look forward to more exchange on the aftermath.
Oh yeah, I'll see you soon, brother. Look after yourself.
Yes, sir. Take care of yourself.
Thanks.
And Slick, I do want to go back to what they were saying about Devin White. I think that he was humble, but another thing, I do love the fact that this draft, I think the draft also humbled him. Getting Yaya, Servassier. These
Hey,
guys.
did you see that Yaya played so much?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to him. Oh yeah, I wanted to.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I got we got our shit to talk. So let's.
Yeah, that's but yeah, you're right. Yaya, we're gonna go to Yaya in a second. But yes, Devin, I think he saw the fact that you can and will be replaced. A lot of these guys in the NFL, sometimes their egos get above them. And it's like, oh, I'm not replaceable because one, I brought a championship and all that. That's cool. But if you're gonna mess with the unity of the team, you can be replaced. There are other players out there that want to play. And what Bowles is a defensive guys coach. What linebacker would not want to come to a guy like that and be utilized? So, and then also the unity. I think he sees like shit, like you said, this is a really good team. I don't have to go anywhere. And if I play my part, I'll get other money. I'll get the endorsement. I'll get all these things. And
you don't have to pay the tax.
Right. Levante's right there. Like Levante, he will go to the Hall of Fame. Just his numbers are just too staggering. They're going to go back and say, oh, shit, we were too busy slurping up Wagner. We don't even realize Levante's numbers are better. And again, because the Buccaneers didn't have a personality team defense like the Legion of Boom, they're going to go, oh, yeah, we were so smitten off names. We forgot.
Levante himself isn't naturally a big chatty person. I would imagine if you took Levante's stats and just put Devin's personality on it, he would have exploded a little bit more.
Agreed.
In social media. And I think because of the social media, that would have got him at least an extra couple more Pro Bowls.
Yep.
And then you build that conversation of how good he is. But what Levante does have is a head down, hard working approach that no one can take away from him. Quiet, but at the same time, deadly as a player, just so talented across the board. And I always see him and Mike as the same type of player. Mike is a little bit more outspoken, but I think that's because he's on offense, and the offense get the microphone first in their face a little bit more. I think defense kind of have to fight for the mic maybe a little bit. Offensive players, you pop off on as an offensive player. The reporters really, really want to talk to you. You have a good game as a defensive player. They'll talk to you, but you're not the top billing. You know what I'm saying? You got the guy with 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. And then you got the linebacker with 10 tackles and a forced fumble. I'm guaranteeing you more people wanted to speak to Baker Mayfield and Chris Godwin than, say, Antoine Winfield.
Yeah, and that's how it is. The offense is going to be the more polished, shiny toy that we want to play with first. But let's get them out the way. But you're right. But yeah, let's go to Yaya, though. Yaya. If Yaya has the game that he just had, like 2-3 more games like this, he's taking JTS's spot. JTS, he's trying, but Yaya, it was so natural when he stopped Kamara on that run, that run. It was a thing of beauty. He just grabbed.
Devin sold it. I think was it Devin who pushed him out, and he went east, and then all that guy had to do was just follow. I got you, and that was a good lick in it, and it was the drive killer for that drive for the Saints, you know, and that's what you want to see. Really pleased what I'm seeing, and I think his natural ability of how nasty and explosive he is. He's not got the speed, but he's got the power. Yeah, I think that worked against their offensive line more than say just sending someone who can go real quick.
I agree. I do agree with you on that, and it was and he was like just beating them like you said. And when JTS did come in there, like you said, it could be a rotation. It was like, you know what? We want the hammer, the first bludgeon. So then when the speed guy comes in, he's so bruised, like, damn it, I can't move.
I'll get there because I'm not quick enough because I've just been fighting this one guy.
Exactly. And I got to give another point. This guy actually is forming. Maybe I'm going to owe him an apology next. Zion McCullum. With that hit
Yeah,
to Olive, I
it.
lost it.
I didn't even have him on my team when I cut the team because I was not impressed with what I saw in preseason. I was like, I don't like using the word bust because I think that's easy. I thought he was going to end up being a practice squad player unless someone snagged him. And I was like, I've not seen it, but I've seen everything I need to see. I love when my Buccaneers players shut me the fuck up because it means they're doing good things.
Facts. That hit though. Oh, and I don't like when people. I don't want injuries, but just seeing a Saint just happen to get itself together, I was like,
I want to see every time we deliver the blow. I want to see it. I want to see that guy get up gingerly. I want to see him stagger. I want to see him struggle and go out the game just for that game. You can come back the next one. It's fine.
yes.
Just enough that he's like, fuck, my arm, the stinger, the this. I need all the fucking drugs. And they're like, yeah, just stay out of the game, man. Just
facts. And Zion was playing a solid game. He is forming. I think the game is starting to get to him where he knows, okay, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to do. Because his tackling has been a lot better. Mm-hmm. That was I think again, the Bucs laid so much down. Yeah, the Bucs were just laying so much hammer to them, not just physically, but psychologically. This, like, defensively, we always had a bout with them, but it was different. The Saints looked like the Bucs under the Brady regime, where they offensively they got in their own way, and the Bucs were just coming in there, just saying, no, we're gonna beat you. We're gonna do everything in our power to overmatch you. And the Saints couldn't even get 10 points on the board, which I was kind of close. I said 31-10, 26-9. It wasn't that far.
I said to you the night before, and I said if it's going to be a blowout, I can believe the Buccaneers do it. I believe it'll be like what we were talking about. I think that the Buccaneers will score a lot of points. It'll leave super, super tight, and the Buccaneers squeak it with a 6 point, and we'll just kill off their drive, and that's it done. Or they just will not be able to do anything against us, and that's how it turned out, and none of us are complaining. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. And we got to put this to bed, guys. Buck fans know this, but Saint fans, I want you to understand this. Michael Thomas is washed. He's gone. That ship has sailed. So stop trying to have hope. We have Michael Thomas. That's not a compliment anymore. That's not a compliment. Olive is your guy now. Olave is your guy. Yeah. Rashid Shaheed is your guy.
We took him out of the game. He didn't even want to be in the fucking game anymore.
Exactly.
And that's the difference between a hungry player. This is a guy who's expecting to get the ball. This is a guy who's when you don't get the ball, I understand it's frustrating. I get it, but you still got to show it,
Exactly. You don't bitch up. And here's another thing. Kamara was
diva. We like a diva. We like a diva when it's against us because you get in their head. These are the guys that will do stupid shit, get themselves ejected, or they'll do stupid shit and just play bad. Divas are great. They'll either play amazing. They'll have games where they're amazing and you can't stop them. But if you can get in their head and you can make them feel like you get a bit too handsy with them and they get a bit upset and they're calling to the ref and they go, ref, he's touching me, he's touching me, he's touching me. Ref's really not calling because it's not really there. It's all in your fucking head. And you said, I'm going to beat you like a drum. I'm going to beat you like a drum. You're never going to get past me. My hands are going to knock you the fuck up. See, the refs won't call it because you're too fucking soft. You're soft. You're made soft. There's nothing about you that's tough. And you're there going, fuck this motherfucker. And you're just not playing well because you are too busy trying to win a battle that you don't need to win.
Facts. If you're supposed to play against the team, not an opponent. When you just play against an opponent, you're going to lose that battle all the time, even if you win it. Because now, when you were able to get that separation, like, yeah, I beat him, your quarterback just got sacked. Or when you're trying to do that guy, yeah, I got to the receiver, yeah, but you held. It's always about
you ran hard, but it was a run play, and you were ineffective because
exactly
you're too busy trying to win a different battle.
Exactly, and that's the difference between this Bucs team. The Bucs defense last year, they played, but it was like they had to play to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand. This time, the Bucs are just, the defense is like, no, we're playing because we're going to take control of shit in our offense. We want to make it easy for our offense for the first few weeks because we
It
know
was complementary football, didn't it? It's like the Buccaneers defense wasn't ever on the field for too long. The Buccaneers offense stayed on the field enough to give that rest. It was consistent. Like we said, the run game wasn't pretty. It was amazing. But the eyeball test showed me that when we needed to run the ball, when we needed to get what we needed, we genuinely tended to get it.
Yes.
And it was when we were trying to do an extra run on top to see if we could get a little bit more out than on top of it. That was the run that kind of went back. And I thought Keyshawn Vaughn had a great game, but honestly,
I like Keyshawn.
How did he play that bad? All I remember is him trucking people.
I think the thing is, a lot of people, Keyshawn Vaughn's another one. He's not exciting when he runs, but he's effective. You're not going to always have a Derrick Henry of the world. And sometimes you've said this how many times? You're not going to run your way to championships. Because look, the Titans are going to do the same thing. They're going to blow him out, tire him out. By week 14, Derrick Henry might be gassed or too bruised to even have an effect.
Sometimes I think the best thing that can happen to Derrick Henry is he gets done for a hamstring injury and he's out for fucking 5 weeks just so he can not get fucking beat the shit out of for 5 weeks.
Exactly. And with a guy like Rachaad White, we're rotating. We don't have to worry about that and that was another thing. In the fourth quarter, the Bucs offense, especially their runners, looked fresh. You didn't see anybody looking like, oh, I'm gassed or I'm too bruised to run. And that is what Rick was saying eloquently. It's the illusion. It's the attempt sometimes, because then you will crack that open. Because by then we were gassing. The way that the Eagles handled us on defense last week is the way we handled the Saints. Now,
I would disagree with what Rick would say is scoreline. So it's all well and good trying to maintain the balance, and I'm all for maintaining that balance. But if you're down by 2 scores, you can't be living off a 2-yard here and a 2-yard there and a 3-yard here. You need to start thinking outside the box, and that's when you need to maybe chase the game and then I use the phrase shelve the run and then come back to it once you're in a more. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you're down 2 scores. You go, right, we're going to shelve the run because we run first down. We got 2 yards. We got a yard out of it. Fuck. Okay. Now we're going to pass. Let's say you get a touchdown. Now the score's manageable again. We can go back and have a look at that run and mix it in. So we go a little bit more pass heavy, but we're going to sprinkle in the run. So you have to keep honest to that run game. You still have to read. You know when a team's going up against a team and they're down 20 odd points. Yeah. You know they're passing it unless they have an elite run game. They're going to pass it, and you know they're going to pass it. So you just drop into coverage. Agreed. That is light. It's light for a reason.
Agreed. I see where you're going with this, and you're right. I just say that is maybe because I'm so used to us being predictable, but now that we look like we have a threat, it does make the offense run a lot better now, because defenses have to do that. The Saints couldn't stop us, and that's what makes us so happy. When you watch this game, it was completely different. Like you said, when we went up 14-3 before the half, I was like, yep, the game is over. The Bucs have this. Now I was looking for style points. I was like, okay, let's whoop their asses now. And Antoine Winfield, that's when the momentum shifted to the point where the Saints had no returners when that fumble happened, and Antoine Winfield recovered it. Because first of all, that fullback that the Saints had was terrible, because he dropped a key pass when Carr tried to throw it to him, and he just slopped his hands. But when there
was a lot of really bad. I mean, I don't know if it's the touch on the ball or it was just they weren't ready for it. There was a lot of balls that were thrown, and they were behind the line of scrimmage kind of throws, or barely across the line of scrimmage kind of throws, but they were bouncing off people's hands. And I don't know if they felt the defender on them, because every time I looked, the defender was close, but they weren't exactly on them or like competing with the ball. So I'm like, why are these guys, like, realistically, these should be wide open passes.
I just think that they were. I think that this
occasion.
Yeah, and this Saints team is on. Unfortunately, I do think they're going to be on a bad tailspin because of the quarterback situation. Because if Jameis should know, he's not wanted in that locker room anymore. Well, in the coaches, Allen doesn't believe in him. Carr is so pressed on being the guy, but he's hurt. And
I don't see anything about Carr that makes me think he's that guy. I look at. I've always said that he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's a great quarterback. And being able to get what was considered on paper the best quarterback out of the four of us, because let's face it, a rookie, doesn't matter whether he's first round or something, he's going to have growing pains. Not everyone's a superstar in their first year. We know that. So we always knew that even if he is good, Derek Carr on paper was probably the best quarterback on paper. Desmond Ridder, I had not seen anything of. So technically we had, in my opinion, probably the second best quarterback in football. Second best quarterback in the division on paper. Then it's like, what can your offensive coordinator do with them? And it just seems like their offensive coordinator. I had a Saints fan on the show yesterday. He was also the head coach of the San Juan Steelers, so my boss basically. And he said he is fucking sick of this Carmichael fucking bullshit. He wants it. He's like, I've never been one, because he's similar. He's like me. You know, when you're a coach, you don't want to see coach fired, because that could be you one day, kind of thing, because you weren't able to get it going. And I think sometimes you got to take one step back to get in two more steps. Yeah. Clearly, this guy isn't what is. And he's like, this is the last guy from the Sean Payton era. I said, your guy at the moment, who's the head coach, is also from that Sean Payton era. So he's sticking to what he thinks he knows. The best thing I've seen for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is getting Dave Canales, because he can put a level of responsibility and accountability on him. Say, dude, where's my run game? Where's my fucking run game? All I ask you to do is give me a bit of a run game and keep that offense going. He can't do that with Byron, because Byron can go and cry to his friend, who's also his friend, you know? So it really strips it away, as in, like, I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but he can hold him accountable like he couldn't hold Byron Leftwich.
No, you're absolutely right.
I do for this job. Yeah. Those are the words. And big shout out to our GM. I don't know what the lip read. You heard in the lip read?
Oh, he said, fuck you to Marshawn. I loved it. But did you see what happened?
That's our GM.
This is why Marshawn is such a bitch. This is what happens every time. And I've said this for years, Slick, and you know this. You're a coach. If you see one of your players running their mouth to the other team when they're supposed to be in the huddle, I can tell you'll probably like, get your ass over here. What are you doing? Don't take away from the game. Anytime Marshawn gets into a situation with the Bucs, his punk ass is always on the Bucs side. As a player and a professional,
that's what you wanted, though. Like, I would always play Mike Evans by the Bucs sideline, just because you can get into his head that way. And like, I never had that problem when I played, because I played more safety than I played corner. But cornerback on the opponent's side is way tougher than playing cornerback on the other side, because they're yelling all sorts of shit at you. They want to put you off on anything. Like, what was it? One of the gentlemen, O'Heal, he's Muslim. So every time he sees someone with slightly brown skin, because in our country, we have a lot of Pakistanis, we have a lot of Indian people. So we have a lot of Muslims in there. And he's like, bro, are you Indian? I just read the back of your name. It's Singh. You've got to be Indian. Please tell me you're Indian. I'm doing attack. And he's Indian himself. Like, he's Muslim himself, right? So it's not, he's like, and I was like, it's a good job you're doing it, mate, because if I did it, I'd get done for some shit. He's like, you need to tell me, are you Muslim? Why won't you talk to me? And we're all in hysterics, because he's just chatting to this guy. This guy's trying to focus on playing corner. And he's just like, with a name like Kavar, are you Indian? Are you Sikh? Or are you Muslim? I'm doing a chart. I want to put you on my chart. What's your name, bro? And it's like, oh my God.
Yes, get in there.
Same stuff. Is like, well, you could just hear that, like, some of the stuff that comes off the sideline. Their corner will play, and I just hear one of my DBs will turn around and, that guy's got a big ass. I mean, that's a really fucking big ass. I bet you he can't turn. There's no way he's going to turn. Why are you so slow when you turn? And it's just like that kind of stuff, just constantly being barraged just because they're on the sideline.
Yeah.
Of a team that can just keep chirping at you, and you've got to fight that shit out.
But Marshawn will say shit when it's like, it ain't even necessary. But either way, when he on that pass, when Evans beat him, when Evans is trying to get up, he's trying to like grab him even while he's getting up. And that's why Light had enough. Light said something that I just want to be on the sideline to say to Marshawn. This is how I know. I just want to get in the game one time. The Bucs signed me for one game. Just let me get against the Saints and Oklahoma against Lattimore. I just want to see where it goes. If I get knocked on my ass, so be it. But if not, I just love the fact that, like, he said, "Hey, fuck you." I love it, and what makes it more hilarious. I know Evans heard him say that shit, but Evans was like, "I gotta stick to the game. I gotta stick to the game."
That's my guy. That's my fucking. That guy drafted me.
Yes, exactly. And he's like, "I can't get no shit," because Lattimore mentally was gone. Especially every time that Baker threw it to him, he was catching it over him. And I think that frustrated him because the refs did something that, even though they were calling shitty calls a lot, they let them play.
I didn't hate a lot of the calls. I mean, I didn't like the Baker Mayfield one. There was a couple of others. I didn't like in the broadcast that they were going on. It felt for me, I had a bigger gripe with the broadcast. Yeah. The broadcast felt very pro Saints, and every time they had like a referee call that didn't go their way, like for example the pick that they had, they were that should be at the 20, and I'm like,
no,
you got both feet in bounds. He's got both feet in bounds, and he's being pushed into the end zone. I'm sorry, like fucking stop it, stop that stupid shit.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with that. I just think but when they let Evans and Marshawn play, though, you could clearly see and that Mike Evans was owning him. And when he grabbed him, I was laughing. I said, "Well, damn, he's that upset," and then had the nerve to try to act like he didn't do anything.
Oh man, when he trips him up and he's there kind of like, "Oh, and I looked and I was like, yeah, Mike Evans has this thing where he leans into you and pushes off, but he pushes off without full extension, so he kind of runs into you like this and then just forearm and then and he'll do his thing. That's how he's able to do his push-offs, because his push-offs aren't that. No, his push-offs more like that.
Yeah,
half the distance. It's enough to get you kind of go, "Oh fuck, I can't get hold of this guy." Yes. And then you do grab, because you're going to grab. It's natural to grab onto something. You end up grabbing onto the body, and then you're tugging. Whereas he's just he's shoving you off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not holding. That's not holding. Now there were some plays that, there were some holding calls that were called on us that I thought was pretty harsh. And we kind of, but this offensive line, dude, isn't amazing in the run, but it is solid in the pass. It's not amazing in the pass, but I tell you what, considering we were panicking about left tackle, we're not having a revolving door of people sacking our quarterback on a regular basis. Now, the pressure generally seems to struggle when we have people up front. Mm-hmm. That's where we tend to give up the most, and that's where people start targeting. They're going to go down that alley. That's something that's got to get addressed eventually, maybe in a draft or so, but it's nothing that we need to do. I love the fact the running game bounced back. Now, here's the thing that I really liked. We touched on Zion McCollum. The Buccaneers brought in 2 cornerbacks to work out. As far as I can tell, neither got signed. Mm-hmm. That means the Buccaneers go, what we've got is enough.
Mm-hmm. And they do. We do have enough. The Bucs have enough, and this is where Bowles, I actually think he's doing a better job this year than he did last year. And that's crazy because the Bucs last year, the first few weeks were solid. He's doing a better job. I just think that the guys are buying into the system a lot more, and they're able to adapt.
With a game like that, I think they have to, because you just beat a team that Mike has probably been through it. Chris Godwin's been through it. And then I'd say worse a little bit. I'm talking on the offense more than anything. And then the thing is, it's such a different team as well. Like, it really isn't. Wirfs has been through it a little bit, but not that much. There's probably about 10 guys, maybe 5 to 10 guys on that offense that knows, damn, we beat the fucking Saints and we kicked their fucking ass doing it. Now that's really different. All right, and that I agree. Turn around and goes, now that's how you get your buy-in. Beat a team that you don't like. Mm-hmm. Beat a team that's a divisional rival. So you now separate yourself, because when it comes down to it, if all those teams are on similar or the same, let's say for the sake of argument, the Buccaneers have a so-so season and we end up winning a similar amount of games as one of the other divisional opponents, and it will come down to strength of schedule. It will come down to your head-to-head. This is why you want to win those games, because it puts you one step ahead. You are now one win in front of one of those teams that they can't ever get back, because
No.
If you draw, you're going to beat them unless they can beat you in the next one.
No, you're perfectly right. And the thing is, though, the Bucs' upside is far more than the teams that we just mentioned. The Saints, I told you, with the quarterback situation, they're going to spiral. We just said it. Carr's not that.
Have they got it in? Have they got it inside them to go from 2-2 and build from there? That's the real question. I don't know who the next opponent is. I'm not entirely sure.
And that's the thing. I don't think they do. And the Falcons, they're going to fight it out just to see what they have. But the Panthers, I'm going to be honest. If the Panthers lose 2 more straight games, they're going to pack it in. I'm not going to say like they're going to tank, but it's going to be we're 0-6.
You've got to get to a point. We know that coaches and players don't want to tank. They don't.
No tanking, but they're going to.
No. That's they're going to go in. Let's see what we got mode, which is just like try loads of different things. They're going to just look at what they can do and see what their quarterback can do, because that's basically the main thing they got to do, right? Who's he got the most chemistry with? Who's he not got chemistry with? Because let's face it, like people talk about even Carolina having a chance in the division. I was like, with what wide receivers? Like, this is why I get the whole. I get a little bit. I give it this look. When people turn around and go, all I need to do is get this quarterback, and I'm like, but this quarterback's gone from being the fucking Mac Daddy in the SEC, and yeah, the SEC you'll probably lose a game or two. You might lose a game or two. It's the Pac-12 that fucking scares me more than anything. I would be reluctant to take a quarterback from the Pac-12 for one reason only. There aren't that many good fucking teams in the Pac-12. It's going to come down to 2 teams. USC, and Oregon. And we all know it.
Yep.
They're not known for having great lines, so they get sacked a lot, but they're known for having good skill players. And it's so hard to go, I can take that guy, transplant them into an NFL team, and he's automatically going to have success. You don't know. No one knows this. When was the last time a first overall pick won a Super Bowl? It's actually quite recently, but it took him a long fucking time to get there.
Was it Mahomes?
Stafford.
Oh yeah, Matthew Stafford. Oh yeah.
He's off the top of my head, the only first overall pick to win a Super Bowl in recent years.
Right, and look at what he was stacked with. They had to stack.
Absolutely, and that's my point. It's like, and we know he's a good quarterback. Like Jared Goff is one of the few guys who've made it as a top five pick. There aren't many guys that have either been to a Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl that aren't a top 5 pick. So just turn around and go, we're a top 5 pick. We're going to get this quarterback and he's going to change everything.
Doesn't work that way. It really doesn't
work that way. Mitchell Trubisky.
Good God, yeah. And look at him now. Right. You have to, and Trey Lance of everybody. People thought that Trey Lance was going to be the next big thing. And it's like
3 first-round picks for him, didn't they?
Yeah. And now look, Brock Purdy is out there doing the damn thing. It's just about you can't assume. You're guessing. People don't like to admit that drafts are all about guessing. You're guessing.
You can project it a little bit by, for example, like I think line play. If you have like SEC line, people go for SEC backers and some linemen. Big Ten is big for linemen for the sheer fact that they're just known for having the linemen, right? And because you see them compete against each other, you can go, okay, this cat went against Ohio State's line, Michigan's line. He's from Nebraska, say, and Nebraska had a bad season, and he fucking dominated every time he went in there. You know he should be a good. Now, if he can relate it all to the pros, because you know they're all going to have problems to a degree. Did anyone see TJ Watt being the player that he was? No. You got to remember, we had a season where Jadeveon Clowney was the fucking dude, and he's not been that guy. He's never been the premier dude.
Never.
I think he was a second-round pick in that draft, or bottom of the first.
Yeah, he was, and people were saying how stellar he would be, and he became a journeyman. Yes, and sometimes it works like that, but that's why I think with this Bucs team, you see so much upside that the Saints and the Saints and the Falcons can't afford to lose back-to-back losses. They go 2-3, and the Bucs, let's say we go in and we do what we need to do against the Lions, which I think we will. They're 4-1. Now it's a little bit of catch up because the Saints and the one thing about the Saints and Falcons, they're not built to come back from like long, like big leads, and that's how it's going to be.
But they haven't shown it yet, have they? They have.
Well, I don't. Again, I'm with you on the Carr thing. I don't think Carr is worth it. Ritter, enough said. I knew he wasn't going to be that guy. They just tried to hype him young. It's just going to take some time. But the Bucs,
the Texans got the best quarterback out of that draft on paper.
Exactly, and he's doing a good job. He's doing a very good job. But this is what we're saying. The Bucs. It's just that the media. I tell people like now all of a sudden because you know that the Bucs got flexed to.
Oh God, the Saints got the Patriots.
The Saints are going to they're going to lose.
No, but at least it's a fucking easier game for them. You know, it's not like they're going to go against like the Eagles. That's right. But I kind of wanted them to have a game where they're going up against like a fucking stud.
That's true, but
that really punches them in the mouth.
But don't be
surprised. The Texans, they go. I would rather them play the Jags.
I hear you, but here's the thing: Belichick might. It could go either way.
Defense.
Yeah, he might defensively find a way and shut them down. If all Matt Jones got to do is be average, I don't see the Saints offensively doing anything because again, they don't even realize they're in a low key QB crisis, and they might not look after watching the Saints. Cam is washed. He's through. He doesn't have the pro skill level he does anymore. He's old now, so whatever. Demario Davis is literally what Levante was for a long time, the lone star on a team that's dwindling. So, the Falcons, they're still trying to find their identity. And
I think they're just a run team. I think that's all they are. I think they're a run team that has a bad quarterback with good skill players because Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, and Drake London, they're very good players. That's a good trio to have, and then have the running back, and you're not putting up the numbers that you need to do in offense.
Yeah.
What was it? They scored 10 points in London.
Yeah. Oh, it was embarrassing. Isn't Ridley with the Jaguars?
No. Ridley got done for. Ridley is with the Jags. Sorry.
Yeah, because if you look at the game, the Jags and the Falcons, Ridley got cussed out by one of his players. He just looked. He tried to dap him up, like, "Get off me!" He's like, "You trash." That's when you know your team has a meltdown. That's why nobody likes to go to London. That's just like a
7-point set. They scored 7 points. The Falcons, so they're back to back losses right now. They've got to figure it out quick before it's like you talk about the spiral. This is it. Go Texans. They get a bit of a breather, but are they going into their bye week? No, they're going straight back home, going straight to the Texans. So they've flown straight.
And that's not even going to be an easy game. This is what I'm saying. This is in a perfect spot for the Bucs. If the Saints and the Falcons lose 2 more games, and the Bucs can just win 1 more, you put them in
and the Bucs are going to keep turning the corner.
And I think they will. The Bucs have an upside, and we are very fortunate. I can't wait for us to talk about this Detroit game, but the Bucs have a lot of upside, especially if they have their players return to full health. I believe Evans will be back. We knew he could have been back then, but they just said, "Dog, we got this. We're gonna beat the Saints. You're gonna get your 1,000 yards. Relax." So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if Evans goes off in Detroit against the Lions. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like a $120 or $130 and 2 touchdowns because he's going to be ready. Canty comes in. I told you, if Canty comes in slick, I'm telling you now, the Bucs are going to beat the shit out of the Detroit Lions. The reason why
I'm not impressed with the Detroit Lions. What I've seen, I just think they are generally a good team, and they're a team that can give us a genuinely good fight. That there is a probability that we could. There's a higher probability that we could lose. I still believe we're going to win. I believe we're going to win every game on the day, right? I know realistically over a course of the season that's not going to happen. I've got my 10 games, but if I have to pick one, that's a game. So I've got to pick 7 losses, right? So Eagles was one of them. Niners I picked as one of them. But on the day, you speak to me on the day when we played the Niners, I believe we can win.
I agree.
I have to pick, as a forecast, I see us losing, so I'm going to pick the higher caliber competition as the teams that we're going to lose, and I'm going to look at a couple of trap games where, let's say we play again, we beat Atlanta, but then Atlanta plays us, and we're just caught with our pants down, and they do their thing, right? I can believe a game like that could exist. I just don't want it to happen against the Saints.
Amen to that.
It can happen against anyone else but the Saints.
But the Saints, and that's the thing. I'm with you on that. The two losses that I have for the Bucs right now will be the Bills and the 49ers.
They lost a major corner, didn't they?
Yeah, and that's my thing with the Bills. I think it'll just be because when we lose against those guys, we offensively we can't match them yet because they're in sync.
And for me, if we lose, I want us to be in the game. Like we lost because of a last-minute field goal. We lost because you're in, and it's not like a quick one. It was long, methodical, or maybe a controversial call. Sometimes a controversial call can make you go, hang on. Well, that controversial call didn't happen. We were still in that game. We still had a moment. We still had this. We're not that far behind. So when we go playoffs, then we're looking at it, hang on. Oh yeah, we lost 5 games. We lost the Eagles. Yeah, they were genuinely better than us. We lost to this team. Let's say we lose to the 49ers last minute fucking 57-yard field goal or something crazy like that for them to win the game. You go, okay, we're in the conversation of that game. Like we were never out of it, which means every dog has his day. And sometimes that dog is fucking barking.
Facts. No, you're right. You're definitely right. I see us only
losing. Be competitive in the games that we lose. Not in the games that we lose. It's not the end of the world because you can learn from it.
Yep.
But if you're competitive in those games, you're like, hang on. Like, you know how they did with the Vikings? They were like, oh, they won so many games where there was only one score. Yeah, you do the Kermit the Frog voice way better than I can.
I know what you mean. See, they're competitive. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That's what you want in certain games, like the big games. If you lose a game, we lost because we were within a 1-score differential.
Yeah,
that's positive. It's positive to take in. So we were never out of the conversation. It's when you're getting your nose blooded on a weekly basis, and you're like, "Oh, we've won games, but when we did lose, we got fucking spanked." Then you've got a problem.
Yes, I agree. I can see us losing when it comes to the Bills a field goal, just because the offense will get there, but not there yet. The 49ers, they're just well-rounded, and I see us losing. If we do lose them, it'll be like by 10 because the offense will almost be in their stride by then. But yeah, overall, I still got this Bucs team winning between 10 to 12 games. I might, and I said this a while ago. I wouldn't be surprised if they get 13 wins. They get that one shocking win, like, oh, you wasn't supposed to win that. And then, like you said, it'll be you weren't supposed to lose to that either. But either way, the Bucs are in good shape. Nobody expected this except of us. They owe us an apology. So.
We said this last week. We said, like, I think, like, split everything down, right? And you split. Right. We won the quarter. We're 3-1. Even if we go 2-2 in the rest of the quarters, we've got a winning record, and we go into a game to finish off on a high, right?
On a high.
You know, let's put it together. So that puts us at 5-3. Then it puts us at 7-5. You know what I mean? So you're stacking wins. You got a 2-point differential. You could even lose that game, and you're still going to go 9-8, even if you break even and lose the last game of the season. From now on, right? Breaking even ain't hard. Like, that's how we got to look at it. Breaking even, like, our next schedule, the toughest game we got is we're going to go Lions, Falcons,
Bills,
and Texans. So let's say for the sake of argument, we split those games. We're still on a winning differential at that point. Then we go Titans, Niners, Colts. See that last one, and Panthers. Let's say we do another 3-1 on that. We're stacking now. That's what I'm saying. You keep stacking. As long as you stay break at this point, if the Buccaneers only stay break even, they're in the fucking playoffs.
They're in the playoffs. And then that's where the whole thing can get turned up, because remember, Baker has he has won in the playoffs, so he's been there. And then you still have this defense.
He's been in the playoffs.
That's right. And this is This is a defense you don't want to see in the playoffs. Can you imagine if Canty comes in full stride and if Vita stays healthy? Now what you're going to do? This is why I want to see what Canty. We're going to get a lot about what this defense in the trenches will be if he plays against Detroit. If he comes and plays like we know he can, oh yeah, this defense, like I said, they're going to be top 3. You're going to say San Fran, Eagles, and then the Bucs. And which is crazy because the NFC is actually showing a lot more oomph right now than the AFC.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 2 undefeated teams, the Buccaneers doing what we're doing. All the leaders right now have either lost 1 game or they've lost no games in the NFC. There are teams in the AFC that have lost 2 games apiece and they're leading. So
facts. And the 4 strong people of the NFC right now, I will say you got 49ers, Eagles. You still got to give the Cowboys their due. And then, to be honest, the Bucs are up there.
It's us and the Lions, and we're in that conversation. We're a top 5 team in the NFC, depending on where you want to grade us, but we are definitely a top 5 team in the NFC right now.
And if you want to put us at 5, I can respect that because we still got a ways to prove ourselves. Because Detroit,
but in we're going to be 4 because we're going to win the division, right? We're going to be the 4th seed.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
someone else is going to be one of those teams, even if they're arguably better. Let's say it's the Dallas Cowboys and they don't win their division.
They're going to be number 5.
They're going to be the 5th seed regardless.
And they're not beating the Eagles because I don't see that either. I don't see them splitting the Eagles.
Yeah.
I see them splitting, but they're not beating the Eagles. But you know what? I'm gonna wrap this up because it is getting a little late for both of us. But guys, again, always, this is the Aftermath on 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. Check us out. We always love to talk Buck Talk. As you can see, we always appreciate all you guys and your comments. Thank you so much. Shout out to Eric Marino. Shout out to Christopher Cole. Shout out to the homie Ben Cornett, who is always a good dude. And Dritz, all of these guys, Bucks Ray. Thank you so much, guys. And we're going to let you roll out. But as always, you can always check me out. I'm dropping a new video tomorrow about this Bucks win on AJ Turn Up. It's about Bucking Time. You can always go to my page and my link on Instagram and go check out my website and get that fly gear and always turn up in style. And as always, go Bucks. I'll talk to you later. Take care.
Yeah, just want to thank everyone else who's commented, and I do apologize. Sometimes we get mid-flow and we do forget to get the comments up. But Eric Murrow, sorry we weren't really doing a show where we were inviting too many people on, just because we had 2 guests at the start of the show who went through most of the show. So, I thought we were literally going to wrap up at not far from then anyway. So, your Buccaneers win 3-1, 3-1, and we beat the no good dirty Aints. It's always good to feel it. Hopefully we can get healthy, and then we start on. It's Creamsicle Crush Day, rivalry game against an old enemy in the Detroit Lions. Game's been flexed, I believe. I'm trying to do the math. I think it's 8:30. So not 8:30. My mistake. It's 4:30 Eastern. It's 8:30 for me. Great game. Hopefully a great game that we see, and I'm hoping the Buccaneers pull out the win, because if the Buccaneers win versus the Lions at home, I think it can spark this team to no end. I think it could end up being when you win a decisive victory against another team that's winning their division or are considered a favorite for the playoffs, which the Lions are favored right now. You're now looking at it in a complete. It can ignite your team to a point where you're going, well, when you start playing the Texans and the Niners, you might go, well, we beat the Lions. Why not us? Why not us? Why not us? And it can end up going from what I'm predicting could be a 10-6 team to a team with 12 wins. And that's a much different picture. That could be the case of being the 1st or 2nd seed, which is what you want going into it. But without further ado, guys, much appreciated for everyone who's commented, liked, subscribed, everything. You guys are amazing. Y'all are amazing. And I will see you soon. Obviously, no game this week, so there will be no pre-game show, no post-game show, but we will bring the Aftermath probably this time on a Monday, maybe a pop-up show. We don't know. Depends how everyone's feeling. Sometimes we have stuff to get off our chest. So we'll see. Guys, Bucs on me. Bucs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!